We're here at the Ducks. We're gonna get our tickets. So excited. Look at this place. So cool. We just got our tickets. We got a combination of the Ducks and a jet boat through the Upper Dells because she like recommended the Upper Dells. I don't know. Cassie's never been on the jet boat. She's only been on the Ducks. I've never been here before. We're doing the Ducks first. I think we're gonna try to get on like right now. Maybe. It's up to Cassie. The Ducks leave every 5 hours. So it's gonna be hard to get on one. Just kidding. They leave like every 5 minutes or something. I'm excited. So we're gonna get this thing off my face so you can see some beautiful Wisconsin. Cassie, we're on the Ducks.
On one of these stylish life vests. In the 69 years of Ducks have been running. I've actually never had to use one, so I really don't plan on using one today. But they're pretty easy to use. All you're going to do is put your head through this hole right here. You'll unclip the strap, wrap it all the way around your back, and just reclip it right back on front like that, and you'll be good to go. But unfortunately, granite statues found on either side of the duck. The statues actually once stood atop the Chicago Board of Trade building until it was decommissioned back in 1932. And then after that, they were purchased by Miss Helen Robb to decorate her home, Dawn Manor. And please keep Dawn Manor and Miss Helen Robb in the back of your mind, as I'll be talking about them later on today's tour. And I guess what I'm trying to say, folks, is don't take these statues for granted.
These are the S curves. There's no safety belt needed.
Well, we've now just descended into beautiful Fern Dell, and Fern Dell is home to a wide variety of ferns, such as the green fern, the red fern, the blue fern, the orange fern, the white fern, the talking fern, the walking fern, the repeating fern, the repeating fern, the repeating fern, the erupting fern, and on the left here, the very rarely seen and visible fern. And in case you guys missed it, there's some over here on the left. Alright. But as you guys might have noticed, it is a bit cooler down here, and on any summer given day, it can be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler down here, and that would be because of the high canopies of trees which block out sunlight, and the sandstone cliffs on either side which hold in moisture. And with both of those things combined, it creates pretty much a natural air conditioner, making this a perfect habitat for the ferns to grow in.
I need to live here. Oh, I think we're about to become ducks, y'all.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Pacific Ocean. It's a little smaller than I remember. I know, I'm just kidding. It's the Wisconsin River. But it might get a little bumpy going in today, so I'm going to ask with your left hand, you grab that seat in front of you, and with your right, you plug your nose, because here we go. Alright, and well, just like that, I have disengaged the wheels. So if you guys look off the side of the duck, you can see them slowly sinking to the bottom. Oh, the wheels are still there. On the river, but you guys will pretty much get to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the scenery, and take some photos if you like. Seeing as this is one of the more relaxing parts and most scenic on today's tour. Potsdam sandstone can be found only 4 places in the world. Potsdam, Germany, where it gets its name, Zurich, Switzerland, upstate New York, and right here on this 10.5-mile stretch of the Wisconsin River. Now, it is a very brittle rock, so if I were to give each and every one of you a piece, you could easily crush it in the palm of your hand. And it is also a very porous rock, and that would be because it has a very thin outer rocky shell, but inside it's a very soft and sandy core, which absorbs a lot of water and makes it very easy for the juvenile eagle right there.
This is so beautiful, it should be illegal.
But we're now coming up to our first rock formation on today's tour, so if you guys look off the left side of the duck here, follow the shoreline all the way to where that rock is sticking out up ahead. Well, that is known as Pulpit Rock, and the story behind Pulpit Rock is back in the 1800s, a traveling preacher would sit up there and give a sermon to the Winnebagoes who would float up in their wooden canoes down below. Well, his sermons were so boring that the Winnebagoes would fall asleep and drift downriver. So the next day, the preacher went into town to try and find something to liven up his sermon, but all he could find was a local bartender and his baby grand piano. So the next Sunday, the preacher came out, gave his sermon, and just like clockwork, the Winnebagos fell asleep and drifted downriver. And well, that really angered the preacher very much, so he began to jump up and down, and being the heavy-set man that he was, split pulpit rack right in half. But he wasn't done there. He got back up there and threw that bartender all the way into that tree over there. Yes, the green one. And then he pushed that baby grand piano off the side where it still lies today, leg prop against the side, keys facing the heavens. So yeah, I guess I should believe my story there. It's pretty good story, right? Alright, yeah, not too many people do. They usually just look at me like I'm crazy or something. I get that look all the time. But would it make it a little bit more believable though if I told you I could still get the music out of it? Maybe some hard rock or the Rolling Stones? Yeah, probably not. I definitely lose a lot of people on that one. Alright, well, we're now at our second rock formation and most famous on today's tour, and that is Hawks Peak. So if you guys look off the left side of the duck here at this point, then you look up about 50 feet, you can see 3 ledges. And if you use your imagination, the lower ledge there, that could be the Hawk's lower beak, the upper ledge could be the Hawk's upper beak, and then that little ledge in the middle, that could be the Hawk's tongue. And if you shut your imagination just a little bit further, you'll see that slit on the upper ledge there, well, that could be the Hawk's eye. And the cliff just to the right of the head that juts out at us and heads back to the right, that could be the Hawk's left wing and shoulder as it soars across the Wisconsin River. And I do say it is a famous rock for 24 hours. If a hawk flew overhead, well, they were found not guilty. But if a hawk didn't fly overhead in that 24 hours, yeah, they were found guilty and were strapped to 2 50-pound boulders and tossed to a most certain death. And I say most certain because the depth reaches right around that point, about 40 feet deep. Otherwise, the average depth of the lower dells here is around 20 to 25 feet deep. But did you guys all see that rock formation pretty clearly though? Yeah. Right, well, that's good, because it actually took me about 3 months to carve that, so I just want to make sure I didn't see it. I think I did a pretty nice job. Oh, just kidding. What happened was we received so much rainfall in the few days around that time that the lake rose about 51.5 inches. And because the dam couldn't get rid of the water fast enough, the lake had to find the next spot to drain, right there being the lowest. So eventually the water started to flow over top of the highway there until the land eroded. And then it all burst free and hit the shoreline over here on the left. You can still see the watermarks left over there. And where all those roots are showing up there, that's actually how high the river got after the lake broke free and washed into the Wisconsin River, which ended up only taking about 2.5 hours for the 267-acre lake to drain completely. Took with it 5 houses, that whole stretch of Highway County A, and all the trees in the land line right through there. So there's about a 400-foot gap going right through there. But it ended up costing about $3.6 million just to repair that whole section right in there. So quite a bit. And you guys will just get a better look at it once we get in the lake delta snow, which will be in about 5 to 10 minutes, so it should be pretty quick. And it'll be real easy to see it. Just going to be a whole shoreline with a bunch of purple rocks on it, like the ones right on that shoreline. So, like I said, it'll be real easy to see. But the best view you're probably going to get of the whole reach is when we get out of the lake, we're going to be up on top of a little hill there, so you can see the whole area that washed out from the top view right there. Tend to get stuck, but don't worry. It's a very simple plan if that were to happen. Me and all the strong gentlemen on board will go to the back of the duck where we lower the women and children safely into the freezing cold water so that they can push us out. That sounds like a pretty good plan, right? Alright, no, I'm just kidding. The water's really not that cold. And of course, I'm just kidding. 27 to hold back the rushing waters of Dell Creek, form an artificial lake down, which will be splashing down in just a few seconds here. And after the breach, they put about $1.5 million worth of improvements into the dam. They also added an 80-foot spillway on the right, which is behind all these trees right now, so you really can't get a good look at it from here. But anyways, the lake now drains about 2.5 more times than it did before, so hopefully the whole breaching will never happen again. Wet? Alright, sounds good. So there might be a slight mist coming over the front, getting me maybe the first row a little wet, but that is nothing compared to the tidal wave that'll be coming over the back. And so if you guys have any possessions such as cameras, purses, or small children, you might want to pick them up now, because anything that washes to the front, I get to keep, except for the small children. I'll give them right back, of course. And hold on, because here we go. Yes, I wasn't kidding about the tidal wave. You never believe me when I say that. I don't know why. But if you guys did get a little wet, just remember this is artificial lake down, therefore it is artificial water, and you really aren't wet.
Okay, Night Vale. That sounds exactly like something they'd say in Welcome to Night Vale. It's Night Vale. It's artificial water, so you're just artificially wet.
Can you imagine living right on this?
And then if I could get you guys to look back at that grayish house right there on the point. And really has nothing to do with today's tour, but when you guys go home and your friends ask you what you did in the Dells, you can tell them you had the rare opportunity of looking out the rear end of a duck. That's a pretty big opportunity, you know, big thing. Building left from the old town of Newport, which was destroyed by a forest fire back in 1900. And that house was actually built back in 1855 by Captain Abraham Vanderpool. And he was a co-signer of the Wisconsin Constitution and close friend to our 16th president, which is Abraham Lincoln. Yes, that is correct. I'd give you $100 right now if I had $100 and we're playing the cash cat, but we're not, so we're luck there. But good job getting the right answer. Was rumored that Lincoln spent a couple nights in that house. But once Mr. Vanderpool passed away, though, the house went through a series of owners, still laying in the hands of a Miss Helen Robb when she bought it back in 1942. And Miss Helen Robb was a world traveler, so she liked to bring home artifacts and paintings to decorate the inside of her house, which is valued at about $1.2 million. And I would like to show you guys the inside of the house, but for two reasons I can't. First of all, it is still privately owned by the Robb family, and second of all, I really just don't think I can fit this stuff through the front door. You don't see it happening. But I'll be doing the next best thing, and I'll be showing you guys like as well.
This is the breach.
We now just entered beautiful Dell Scenic Park, and Dell Scenic Park is home to a wide variety of animals, such as the white-tailed deer, turkey, foxes, rabbits, chipmunks, squirrels, cubs, cardinals, Pokemon, Digimon, Justin Bieber, Sarah, Instinct, Backstreet Boys, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! And if you do happen to see any lions or bears on today's tour, just let me know, and I'll do my best to swerve and run them over. And you're probably wondering why on earth would I want to do such a cruel thing? Well, all of us here at the original Wisconsin Ducks are die-hard Packers fans. I really don't think we have to worry about seeing any bears on today's tour, because earlier this morning I came out here and painted a goal line around the whole park, and yeah, nice enough to see them cross that line. Actually, just one of our remote control deer. A couple of them. A few of them. now sitting atop Last Look Point, and Last Look Point gets its name for two reasons. First of all, so the last good look you guys will get of the Wisconsin River. And just a little point of reference, if you follow the left shoreline all the way to where it sticks out at the point down there, it's where we enter the Wisconsin River back at Echo Point. And the second reason is we are now sitting atop Suicide Hill. And Suicide Hill does get its name for the 50-foot drop-off on the side. And the way my morning's been going, my girlfriend broke up with me, my goldfish drowned, and my Taylor Swift CD got cracked on the way to work this morning. So, yeah, just the way this morning's been going, this could probably be the last good look you guys get of anything. But if you're afraid of heights like I am, just do as I do and cover your eyes. Yeah, but you guys had nothing to worry about because us here at the Ducks are very safety conscious, and I personally came out here and installed this heavy-duty steel mesh barricade. I know you guys are probably thinking, Jimmy, that's just chicken wire. Well, Hank on the hardware store assured me if they can hold back a chicken, they can most certainly hold back a duck. You can let nature do all the talking. As I mentioned earlier in today's tour, the duck is about 8 feet 2 inches wide, while Redbird Gorge at its narrowest is about 8 feet 6 inches wide. And I'm no mathematician, but I think that gives me about 4 inches, 2 on either side, so let's see if I can make it through. Alright, now don't worry folks, we'll be crossing that bridge in about 5 minutes. Alright, no we're not. Plantation, and like I mentioned earlier in today's tour, forest fire swept through here back in 1900, and Miss Helen Robb, being the good citizen that she was, decided that she was going to hand plant all these pine trees to restore the natural beauty to the place, which is why I can't understand why she planted them in perfectly straight rows, seeing as there's absolutely nothing natural looking about perfectly straight rows.
So funny.
Rust in pieces. And then on behalf of myself and the original Wisconsin Ducks, I want to thank you guys for coming down and enjoying my tour today. And if you like my tour, my name is Jimmy, but if you didn't, my name is Kenny. And I do have one small favor to ask, though, that you guys remain seated until I make my way to the back of the Ducks, so I'm going to escort you guys off safely.
So we just finished our tour with the cutest tour guide in the world. He was so adorable. I'm pretty sure I recorded him half the time. And now we're headed off to jet boats, but we just missed the jet boat. So by the time we get there and park, we'll probably only have to wait like a half hour. And it's so pretty around here. I love that Trojan horse. Are you getting this? I asked my hand. Just asked my own hand whether I was getting it. So we got the picture, of course. And so excited.